I love sci-fi horror set in a spaceship. It's quite rare, but when it does come out, you can guarantee I'll be watching. When Pandorum was released, it seemed almost destined to hit every single note that I love about the genre.
Pandorum follows two men who awaken from hypersleep after 8 years. They find that the crew that were meant to be there to help them wake up are nowhere to be found, and a side effect of being under for so long is that they have selective amnesia. We then follow them as they explore the ship and discover a more horrifying truth to their situation.
This is gonna be good.
The film starts off terrifically, although I personally would have left off the opening text crawl, as it doesn't ingrain us in the character's situation as much. As I say, they wake up with no memory, and just as the characters are piecing together what's going on, so too are we the audience. It's genuinely intriguing, as information is initially drip-fed to you, and you're looking for clues as to what's going on. The two characters we open with are also portrayed by Ben Foster and Dennis Quaid really well, and their chemistry is on point. Quaid is more relaxed and calm regarding the situation, with a level head, while Foster is more concerned and panicky, and this relationship looks to be a good match.
Copy that. Anything look promising?
A whole lot of the same. Nothing.
It's a shame, however, this only lasts maybe 15 minutes.
The two lose contact fairly quickly with one another, and the reason as to what's going on is solved around the halfway mark. Any other characters we encounter are performed well, but are so thinly written that you have no chance to get to know them. The film is more concerned about the narrative than it is with giving us fully fleshed out characters. The first big twist of the film is also really predictable, even before it's revealed at around the 50-minute mark. I was stunned how off the mark the film goes so quickly.
Choices.
The plot doesn't go anywhere particularly new or refreshing for the genre, but the way they're portrayed here is what gives it an identity. The art direction is just so well crafted, and for me it was the film's greatest strength.
There must be hundreds of them in here.
One thing the film absolutely nails is its cinematography. It is a gorgeous looking movie.
Despite it being 12 years old, the special effects really hold up. The film is often bathed in shadows and illuminated with pieces of tech in various colours. It's not often that you'll get a completely lit up set, and it helps establish at least some form of dark mood. The practical effects especially look incredible, with the gore being gruesomely realistic, and, light spoilers here, the makeup effects on creatures that run around the ship are really otherworldly. It's impressive, especially since it has a relatively low budget.
Child. That's no fucking child.
It may seem more derivative of other sci-fi ships, but this one has a more cyberpunk appearance. There's always a seemingly infinite amount of wires and cables snaking all over the place like intestines, and the film is so greasy and oily. There's a surprising amount of variety, and the further into the bowels of the ship they go, the more mechanical and less high-tech it becomes. It also gets less claustrophobic too, as we meet other survivors and the ship opens up. Every section has its own feel and colour scheme. You really get a sense of the size and scale to this beast of a spacecraft.
What lets the film down majorly is its editing. It's awful. In some scenes I consider it downright atrocious.
It's so hacked down to the bare minimum required to follow what's happening that it becomes near incomprehensible in some sections. All sense of tension is lost, and there was no point I was ever gripped by what was happening. It's so insanely choppy that most of the time you're left trying to quickly piece together what you've just seen. It's so frustrating, because the glimpses of what is happening looks good. It looks horrifying, but it flashes by as though you were blinking your eyes rapidly like a mad person and missing out on crucial frames. The movie seems to hate lingering on any one sequence for more than a minute or two before rushing on to the next, and it really hampers the experience. It doesn't allow for a mood to set in, or for you to contemplate any new info for long as it just whooshes by.
Just happened, but I don't really care.
There's a lot of decent ideas, but there's just no excitement to any of it. It feels lifeless and robotic, and after that opening scene, there's very little mystery to the proceedings. I was begging it to take its time, soak in some of the scenery and slow down, but it never did. There's a good scene every so often, but on the whole, I was incredibly disinterested in the product, because the movie didn't seem interested in exploring itself. Pandorum is frustrating. It had a lot of potential, but it's been butchered so much during the edit that it finds itself devoid of any atmosphere and tension.
If you're a sci-fi horror fan, there's some awesome visuals and a half-decent narrative, but it's all for naught. Its beauty is only skin deep.